Hi, guys and gals. Al Smith here. Today, we're going to talk about another convention that we can use to investigate SLAM. This one specifically after a preemptive bid, a week two, or a preempted three level. Okay. The preempt is a very powerful tool that we want to have in our toolbox. And it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. The biggest disadvantage is if you preempt, your partner may have a really good hand, and it complicates things in terms of being able to either determine if you want to sacrifice, if you want to bid game, or you want to investigate slam, especially slam. It gets really frustrating when your partner opens a week two and you're sitting there with 20 points and you go, I want to look for a slam, and you don't know how to do it. And there's four basic things that you possibilities that you want to do if your partner preempts in first or second seat. Notice that the options are different between first and second seat and third and fourth seat. Why? Well, if your partner preempts in third and fourth seats because you've already passed. If you've passed, you've already denied having opening points. And if your partner is preempt, they generally have less than 10 points. So the possibility that you might have game is very, very remote. Okay, so in first or second seat, you want to determine one, whether you want to compete further. And if you don't want to compete further, you want to pass. You also may want have a nice fit with your partner's preemptive suit and some nice shape, and you want to be able to investigate a sacrifice to keep your opponents from being able to bid and make game or even slam. And the third option is being able to investigate game. How do you do that? And the lastly is investigating slam, either a small slam or even a grand slam. Okay, remember when you partner preempts, they're showing a long suit. Okay, and that has a lot of potential. It also has a lot of potential weaknesses. In third and fourth seat, there's really only two options that you're looking at: passing or investigating a sacrifice. So keep that in mind. Okay, now, after week two, the typical way of exploring or asking the week two bidder to further describe their hand is to bid to no trump. And there's a variety of conventions that are used. Typically, beginning players use what's is the standard, and that's a feature ask. And what's a feature? It's an ace or a king, or a singleton or a void. And it says, okay, I opened up two hearts. My partner says two no. What's he asking me? He's saying, hey, tell me what you've got in a lower ranking suit. Do you have a singleton or a void? Do you have an ace or a king? I can then look at that information in relationship to my hand and determine whether we should continue bidding or sign off at three of the preemptive suit. Okay, so it's a way of investigating game. Now, the beginning players generally use what I'm going to call a traditional preempt, and a traditional week two shows two of the top three honors, the top three honors being the ace, king, or queen. Okay, so it's showing a quality suit. Okay, now the more experienced you get, the, the, the least less likely that is to be true. Okay, and I'll discuss that a little bit later. In that, when I do a week two now, I'm only promising 5+ cards in a suit. I'm saying absolutely nothing about the quality of the suit, and I might have very few points. Okay, so the more experience you get, the more aggressive you get. Why? Because it gives you the capability of interfering with the opponents. Now, there's two ways that we generally evolve. One is called the normal Ogust, and it allows you to ask your partner to clarify the quality of their points, their range. Do they have the minimum? Do they have more towards the maximum? And the quality of the trump suit. Is it a good trump suit or a bad trump suit? Okay, I don't like either one of those qualitative measures. Okay, they don't provide me with a tremendous amount of information. And a friend from Canada introduced me to Enhanced Ogust. And what this does is specifically ask about the quality of the trump suit. in terms of the number of key cards that the preemptor has. And the key cards are the ace, king, or queen. Now, note that if you use any version of Ogust or anything else that is not a feature ask, it requires an alert because the feature ask is considered to be the standard. It requires no alert. Anything else requires an alert. Okay, so and I actually think that the enhanced Ogust provides the most useful information because, like I said, normal Ogust is qualitative and doesn't really nail down any specifics for you. I like more specific information. That way I can use it to determine what the level of contract should be and where the contract should be at. Now let's look at some of the considerations here. Okay, aggressive week twos is becoming the norm. Okay, now we use we'll bid a week two with a 5+ card suit. Okay, now just note that in third and fourth seat, in third seat, that's really been the standard since about 1960. 5 cards is becoming much more common now in first and second seat because of the amount of obstruction that creates for the opponent. So 5+ card suits don't be surprised if somebody is preempting with 5. I've actually seen people preempt the week two with 4. Okay, I think they're stretching the envelope a little bit, but it happens. Okay, now many people, especially the less experienced people, expect you to have some type of suit quality. But that's not a guarantee anymore either. I mean, I've preempted with 5-card suit with headed by the 9. Okay, remember the value of the preempt is to obstruct the opponents, and they don't get a look at your hand. Okay, and they're and let's take a look at what the requirements are in relationship to the rules. I mean, there's 4 convention charts defined by the ACBL: the basic, basic plus, open, and open plus. And it goes the basic is used by in tournaments for the least experienced players, and open plus in the most experienced. Generally, this is 4,000 master points or more. Okay, now one of the things, the peculiarities in the rules is the week two allowable week two range varies depending on the convention chart. Okay, in the basic one, you're allowed to have a week two range of 7 points, high card points. Okay, the typical range is 5 to 11. Okay, a lot of 11-point hands are going to open at the 1 level. Okay, the basic plus is 8. So that allows you to increase the range. See, where we change this to 4 to 11, that allows you to be a little bit more aggressive. Okay, 4 points is not a whole lot of points to be bidding at the 2 level, but this allows you to do that. Okay, now I suggest on your convention cards that you use the maximum range possible. Okay, and on the open, you get a 9-point range as you do with the open plus, and I suggest you use 2 to 10. Okay, and so that's a big range. And notice we've lowered this from 11 to 10 because most of the 11-point hands, if you play on BBO with the robot, they're going to open 11-point hands at the 1 level all the time. Okay, now the most important thing here is 5 cards versus 6+ because your partner is going to expect 6. Okay, and so that's a big 1 card is a big change. Okay, especially because that 1 card is in trump and it is potentially a roughing trick. Okay, so you need to decide on what each response shows. Okay, now let's take a look at Enhanced Ogust. Okay, and it's initiated by bidding 2 no trump after the partner's week 2 bid. Okay, and the responses are really fairly simple. Okay, there's 4 responses, 3 clubs through 3 spades. Each one of them requires an alert. Okay, and your holding as the responder determines which response you're going to bid. If you've got 0, no ace, king, or queen with a 6+ card suit, you're going to bid 3 clubs. And that says, hey, I ain't got crap. Okay, if you've got only a 5-card suit, what we're going to do is go 0 to 1 on them. Okay, in a five-card suit because we're in essence subtracting one because we don't have that extra trump. Okay, if you got one with a six-card suit, you're going to bid three diamonds. Okay, you see how this works. You just you go through this, you can memorize this and apply. It's pretty easy. Okay, but it provides very specific information in relationship to the trump suit. So if your partner opens two hearts, you go two no trump, and they respond three spades, you know they've got one heck of a good week two because they've got the ace, king, queen. Okay, simple as that. Okay, and you can use that information to determine what you should do next. Okay, now, one of the notes of caution is that the week two is in diamonds or hearts, and you initiate the enhanced Ogust by bidding two no trump. You've got to be prepared to bid game if the response bid is three of a higher ranking suit. For example, you bid two diamonds, go to two nup and the two no trump, and the response is three hearts. Well, three hearts is higher than three diamonds. You're either going to have to go to three no trump, or you're going to have to go to four diamonds, or maybe five diamonds. Okay, but you've got to be prepared for that. Don't be surprised. All right. Okay, now the bids after a response, one of these responses, okay, you can sign off. What can you sign off? You've got three different variations. You can pass. Okay, let's say that you're in diamonds and response is three diamonds. You can pass three diamonds. Hey, I don't want to go any further. Bid three no trump. Say, okay, I don't want to play in the preempt suit, but I think that three no trump gives us a better possibility to get the maximum score on this hand. Or you bid the four level of a new suit above the preempt suit. For example, it was two diamonds. You went two no trump. They came back and they said three hearts. You might want to bid four hearts or four spades if you got a really good suit. Okay, because four hearts or four spades is a game where four diamonds isn't. Okay, so you've got options there, but you've got to sign up. Okay, you got the game invite. Okay, now the game invite really only applies to diamonds because it's a non-game bid of the preemptive suit. So if it was it's four hearts or four spades is game, so it really doesn't apply. Now just note you can use 3014 kickback after a game invite. All right. Now you can after a control bid, four level game bid, you can bid a four level game bid, or you can use 3014, or you can actually bid another control bid if you got room for it. So there's a lot of things you can do, and you can combine the other things we've learned together with this. Okay. Now let's look at a couple of examples. And I didn't fix any of this crap. Okay, we've got 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 10, 13. Okay, this first hand, we've got 5 plus spades, 2 to 10 points. We've actually got 6. We've got a reasonably good quality week 2 spade bid. Okay, and our partner has got a huge hand. He's got 10, 20, 4 points. He's got the king, jack of spades and so forth. And what he wants, what is the only outstanding question that he or she has? How good is your trump suit? How many honors do you have in that suit? So he bids 2 no trump. And he comes back and says, well, I've got 2. So remember, if we go back and we looked at the scale, it says that we've got 2 of them. What we're going to do is we're going to bid 3 hearts, indicate we've got 2 honors. The responder goes, my goodness, I've got the king. My partner's got the ace queen. I can always got at least 5. I've got the king jack. That means we've got at least 4 rounds of trump that we can lead to draw trump. I've got 4, probably 6 heart tricks and 4 club tricks. That's probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood. We've got 16 or 17 tricks between us. Okay, so what he does, he just goes ahead and he bids 7 spades. Pretty simple. But if you don't know, if you weren't familiar, if he asked the question of 2 no trump using a feature, he'd come back and he'd bid 3 clubs. That wouldn't be helpful. If he used Ogust, he would say, I've got 1. He probably would say he's got a good quality trump suit, but poor points. That's not helpful. So the real point here is the most valuable piece of information is the number of honors that the opener has, that the preemptor has. Okay, let's look at a second example. In this one, this is really an aggressive week two. He opens two hearts. You go, my God, I've never opened two hearts. Well, I have, and it can be quite effective, and it can be lead also to horrible results. Okay, especially if I'm doing this in first seat and the guy in second seat is sitting behind me with a stack of hearts. Okay, but it happens. Okay, old saying: if you live by the preempt, you die by the preempt. But the guy opens two hearts, and it just so happens his partner's got a pretty good hand over here. Okay, and he's looking at his hand and says, "Well, if my partner's got six plus hearts, and he's got two honors, hey, we've got a reasonable chance here for slam." Okay, not great, but I don't want to throw in the towel just yet. So he bids two no trump, initiating the Enhanced Ogust. And the opener has got uh, uh, a minimal response. He's got one, but he only has a five card suit. So he's going to bid three clubs. Okay. And the responder, the initiator of the Enhanced Ogust says, well, that's not a very good response. We're not going anywhere. Okay. And I don't really see, there's a possibility we could make three no trump, but that's only if the opener has the an outside entry. Or we can finesse the king of hearts. And the odds for all of that isn't very, finesse it or drop it. And that's odds aren't really great on that. So he says, I'm just going to rebid the three hearts and pass. So he's got the information, he's made the decision, he's going to sign off in three hearts. Okay, they're probably not going to have much of a problem in making three hearts. They've got one loser in spade, potentially one loser in hearts, potentially one loser in diamonds, and potentially two losers in clubs. That would be five. They wouldn't make it, but odds are probably around 90% that one of those things is going to happen. One of they're going to be able to develop trick in clubs. They're going to be able to trap the king of hearts, one of those things, and probably 90% they're going to make the bid. Okay, so by the preempting and by asking, they're probably not losing anything. All right. So you can see how valuable this is in regards to being able to explore, game, and or slam after week two. All right. So let's look at the next variation here, and that's how do you explore slam after a three-level preempt? Well, you know, and it only applies if partner bids a three-level preempt in first or second seat. Doesn't apply in third seat at all. You're not going to explore slam and after your partner bids a three-level preempt in third seat. Okay, and in order to initiate it, you've got to have control of the non-bid suits. Okay, and the only unknown is the quality of the trump suit. Okay, and what you do is conventionally you're going to bid four clubs to initiate a special key card ask, and the responses are pretty straightforward. Okay, you're going to rebid the the preempt suit at the next available level. If you've got 0 or 1 without the queen. 0 key cards, and that's an ace, king, or queen, or 1 without the queen. All right, so it says, hey, the preemptor's got a marginal trump suit. Okay, you're going to bid 4 diamonds, you've got 1 with the queen. This is why you got 2 out of the top 3 now. Okay. Okay, now if you got 2 without the queen, again, it's 2 out of the top 3, but you got the ace king. Okay, now the initiator may have the queen. So you can see how this works. In 4 spades is 2 with the queen. So the preemptor's got the ace king queen in the suit. All right, so it provides a lot of information. Now you can use 30-14 kickback, first round control bids, anything else that we've learned that's available to further investigate slam. Okay, let's look at a couple examples. And this first one is pretty much what we had before, 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 13. Okay, good. At least I got that right. Somehow I get too many cards in the suit somewhere. 2, 4, 6, 10. I got 13 there too. Damn, I'm good. All right, so he opens three spades. Now, notice I've got this is 6 plus spades, not 7. The reason for that is many players are now using the 2, 3, 4 method to determine the level that a preempt should be opened at based upon vulnerability. There's many situations where you're going to want to preempt at the 3 level with only a 6-card suit. Okay, because again, you're trying to maximize the level of destruction with a minimum risk to yourself. Okay, but in this one, we're going to open, the opener chooses to open 3 spades, and it says, I've got 6 plus spades and less than or equal to 10 points. Okay, that's important, less than or equal to 10 points. Because if he had 11 points, he might open this 1 spade. Okay, now the responders, again's got a great hand. This is the same hand that we saw earlier. And he says, well, my only question now is, can we bid, should we bid game? Should we bid 6 spades? Should we bid 7 spades? So he initiates this convention, bids 4 clubs, and says, how many of the key cards do you have? And he goes, I've got 1 with the queen. You go, 1 with the queen. Wow. I've got the king jack again. The logic is the same. He bids 7 spades. It's a laydown. Okay, now using your normal bidding techniques, are you going to be able to get to 7 spades? Are you going to be able to get to 7 spades that quickly? Probably not. Okay, let's look at another example here. Okay, we've got a big hand, 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 clubs, but they're crappy clubs, aren't they? But we got 9 of them. Okay, and what we're going to do is, because of vulnerability and everything, we're going to open this at 3 clubs. And you might say, well, why didn't he open at 4 clubs? Why didn't he open at 5 clubs? Well, how many losers does he got? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losers. Let's say they're vulnerable and the opponents aren't. Okay, the safe level that he can bid at is really only the 2 level. So he's actually stretching it by bidding 3. But I'm going to bid 3 every time with this many of them. Okay, now if I had a better hand, I'd preempt it 4, maybe even 5, but I don't. And I don't want to expose myself to being able to go down 2, 3, 4, 5 tricks just because of a bad split and me being over rambunctious. All right. Now, so it turns out the responder's got this beautiful hand, huge hand. Okay. And he wants to know how many, he's got control of the spades, he's got control of the hearts and the diamonds. So he says, well, we might be able to make slam if my partner's got something decent in clubs, but I know my partner's an aggressive preempter. So I'm going to ask him what he's got. Bids 4 clubs, saying, how many honors do you have? Tell me about your key cards in clubs. Okay, now you're saying, well, isn't that an invitation in clubs? No, if you use this convention, 4 clubs after 3 clubs is initiation of the convention. If I want to bid 5 clubs, if I want to know more about the clubs, I'm going to go ahead and do something else. All right, I might bid 5 clubs. But you've got to just take the good with the bad. 4 clubs initiates the convention. So he comes back and he says, I don't have anything. So he just bids clubs at the next available level, 5 clubs. All right, now, are they going to make 5 clubs? Yeah, they're going to make 5 clubs. Might they make 6 clubs? Yeah, they might make 6 clubs. If North has the ace of clubs or the queen of clubs, and we can get to the board to lead clubs twice, we might only lose 1 club. Okay, but there's a distinct possibility of at least, I don't know what the percentages would be, probably around 40, 45%. We're going to lose 2 tricks. Okay, so we can see how we can use this information. Let's look at a third example here. Okay, we've got a bunch of hearts this time, 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. 11, 12. We've got a pretty nice hand, very distributional, but it's all preemptive hands by definition are distributional. Okay, so we've hit three hearts. Not unreasonable. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 losers. Okay, that's a pretty good hand. I might even consider opening this hand at the 1 level, but because of the situation, the hand is opened at three hearts. Okay, and the responder, again's got a great hand. Not fantastic, it's flat, but he's got the aces, ace of diamonds, ace of clubs, he's got the king of spades, he's got a nice honor in hearts. So he said, well, there's a possibility. So he bids 4 clubs, says, tell me about your honors. He bids 4 diamonds, he's got 0, or I've got 1 without the queen. Said, okay, well, if my partner's got 1 without the queen, I've got the queen. Okay, that means we might have just 1 loser in hearts. Okay, if you've got 1 loser in hearts, now I could have a loser in spades, that would be 2. I could have a loser in diamonds, and the clubs look pretty good. And, I'm not quite sure what my partner's got. Okay, because the range is 2 to 10, he could have more. Well, let me go ahead and initiate kickback. So he bids 4 spades. Remember, 4 spades initiates kickbacks with agreement of the suits and hearts. Okay, and just notice this is that there's an implicit agreement that the preempt suit is the trump suit if there isn't a sign-off bid. Okay, so the agreement is it's hearts. So he bids 4 spades, initiating 30, 14 kickback for the heart suit. Okay. In the opener bids response, I've got 2 without the queen. He says, well, I've got the queen, so he's got 2. So I've got 2 here. So my partner's got an outside ace, or he's got an outside ace and or the ace or king of trumps. Okay, so we now know he's got the outside ace, he's got the ace of spades. That makes a big difference. Okay, my spades are becoming more solid. I know he's got at least 1 honor in there, so we only have 1 heart loser. Okay, we might be able to do this. So he goes ahead and says we need a good score. So he bids 6 hearts and it gets passed out. Let's come back here to this one for a second. Okay, and just let's take a look at this. Okay, they're going to lose the ace of hearts. The danger here is that they might lose 2 diamonds. So they're going to throw away 1 of the diamonds on the king of spades. And they're going to throw away the other diamond on the king of clubs. Okay, and they're going to lose the ace of hearts. So the 6 hearts turns out to be cold. So just because your partner's preempted, don't and you've got a great hand. Don't be resigned that you just have to pass and miss a slam or a game if it's there. You've got the tools in your toolbox to explore that. So make sure that you learn how to use these. All right, that's all there is to this particular lesson today. So have a great day and have a lot of fun playing bridge.